Hello, welcome. Happy September, wonderful patrons. So, I don't know about you, but I'm definitely looking forward to this turning over to fall and slightly cooler air and a little bit of cozy time and fall projects, fall cooking, fall flavors. And I'll be forthcoming on my Patreon here with some tips for fall wellness, and I'm sure some fall and winter and holiday recipes. But for today, or I should say, and for today, what I have for you is a compact yoga practice. I know I've heard from some of you that you really enjoy and benefit from some of these shorter yoga practices, although it's wonderful to be able to practice for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes, half an hour, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes is what we have, and it can make a huge difference. So today the focus of the practice is twists, and twists are great in so many ways. One of the things about twists, I like, my teacher Gloria says that the great thing about twists is you can put them anywhere. So if you're doing a back bend practice, you can use them to prepare for back bends. You could use milder twists to recover from back bends. Twists can prepare you for forward bends. Can be part of a standing pose practice. You see twists in inversions. And so, they can be sort of part of any type of practice and prepare you for anything and help you sort of come out of whatever type of direction you've been going in as well, be it forward bends or back bends or standing poses. And something else that I'll share too is I remember years ago I had a German teacher, Iyengar yoga teacher named Sabina, and she shared that in German, the word for rib cage, it's actually more like rib basket. So we want to, yes, of course, have strength through our back, right? We want to be strong, but we also want there to be a pliability. So if you think about the rib cage, we don't want it to be rigid, but we want there to be a strength, but a suppleness, a breathability through the rib cage area as well. We want the protection of the bones, obviously protecting our heart, our lungs, our important organs, but also that pliability, that more basket-like breathable quality of the rib cage allows the spine to be more supple and the spine to be more free as well, which is also one reason why twists can be helpful in preparing for back bends, because they help create a suppleness that then sort of frees the spine to move. All right. Well, enough of the preamble. Let's get rolling. So we're going to start with some seated poses, and then we'll take it up to some standing poses. And like I said, I'm going to do my best to keep this brief and compact for you today. So let's start off with, sitting in Upavishta Konasana, seated angle pose. So you can sit, just open up your mat, sit with the legs wide. And of course, I think it goes without saying at this point, but modify as needed. If you need to take a prop, if you need to take a support, if you need to skip a pose, add a pose, take care of yourself, take that liberty. So this is a guide, it's inspiration, it's a springboard. You can follow what I'm doing verbatim, but, of course, you need to be aware of your own body state, your own mind state, what do you need, and modify as needed. So let's just take a moment here, though. Sit with the legs straight. Keep the kneecaps, the knees and toes facing the ceiling. Press the backs of the thighs down. Let's just stay here for a moment. There's some poses that are more action-oriented, and some poses you just need to kind of hang out there for a while, get to know them, let them take effect. And that's, of course, a way of practicing as well. It's important to practice in a more dynamic way, absolutely, but also there's a way of practicing of just being in the pose for a while and letting it take effect, letting it take shape, letting the effects seep in. All right, let's hold the right inner leg, bring that leg in, and notice how I brought that leg in. I'm going to do that one more time. So I'm going to hold on to the inner knee, and then I sweep that leg in, and here I'm really working to, or not working to, keep that root of the thigh, that inner groin nice and soft. So I'm not stressing out my knee by kind of cranking the leg around. I'm just keeping that root of the thigh, inner groin soft, and just sweeping that leg in. And then from here, you can take a hand and just press down on that root of the thigh, not on the knee, but the root of the thigh. Let that leg release. All right, and then sit up straight and tall, and inhale, exhale, turn to your straight leg side. So really work to open out the back of the leg on that straight leg, and then you're turning the pelvis, turning the abdomen, turning the ribs toward that straight leg side. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Collarbones back, shoulders back, upper back in. So take that back body towards the front body. And just let the head and neck be soft. You know, keep your chin in line with your sternum, head in line with the spine. Let the head go along for the ride. And then come on out. And then inhale, exhale, turn to the bent leg side. Now here you have a choice. You can stay up straight like this and work on this more vertical lift height. Sometimes we need that. But if you're up for a little more, don't do this on a full belly. But if you have an empty belly, if you're up for a little more of a twist, then you're going to turn towards the bent leg side. Also, this would be a little bit too much twisting for like menstruation, certainly pregnancy. You know, you wouldn't want to compact the abdomen this way. So you would stay upright. So inhale, exhale. And then you can even look back behind you here. Now my straight leg buttock bone, it is coming off the floor a little bit. The feeling should still be that that leg is releasing down, but there might be a little bit of a lift there. That's okay. And then come on up, extend that leg out, and we'll change the side. So sweep that left leg in nice and easy. Just sweep it in, sweep it out. So you get that softness there. You know, yes, yoga is an arduous path. Yes, it is effortful, but we don't need to add extra efforts in where they're not required. That just creates tension, and it'll only hold you back, really. You know, if you're fighting the poses, it's only going to hold you back in the long run. And it'll be less fun, less pleasurable practice too. Okay. And then turn to the straight leg side. So keep the straight leg kneecap, toes facing up, backs of the thighs down, collarbones, shoulders back, and inhale, exhale, turn. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Just let the head go along for the ride. Now also, I caught myself a little bit. Try not to lean here. Try not to lean back or lean forward, but get that verticality from the tailbone to the crown of the head. And then go ahead and turn out to the bent leg side. Remember, you have a choice. You can either be upright here, or you can hook the opposite elbow over and wring the abdomen out to turn. In doing this, you may encounter some of the stiffness in your rib cage, your middle back, your spine. So see if you can exhale into that stiffness. Exhale to make space. Okay, and then come on up, and then let's sweep that leg out. And then inhale, exhale, sit up straight and tall, turn to the right. Upright Parshva Upavishta Konasana. So Parshva means side. Typically, any pose with that word Parshva, it means that either you're turning to the side or extending the side body. And then Upavishta Konasana, seated angle pose. And then turn to the other side. Inhale, exhale, turn to the left. Backs of the thighs down, kneecaps, toes up. Now try not to hold tension in your feet here, but drop the thigh bones, the leg bones to the floor. Keep the toes soft. All right, and then inhale, exhale. Now turn the ribs and extend out over that right leg any amount. So don't worry so much about making this a deep forward bend. Make it more about the twist. So you turn the pelvis, turn the abdomen, turn the ribs out over that right leg. Exhale to turn. And then come on up, change over. Inhale, exhale, turn to the left. Turn the abdomen right to left. And then also those right side ribs turn to the left. And don't let the head drop down. So just keep your head in line with the spine. You don't need to overly lift the head either, but keep a length to the neck. Let your head move with your spine. And use the exhale to turn. All right, and then come on up, come on out. Now, I'll show from the side here. So let's straighten the legs, Dandasana, staff pose. Get those legs nice and straight. So work to seal the gap between the floor and the backs of the legs. Press down through the heels of the hands, shoulders down, back ribs in and up, back body to front body. And then lean to the right. Sweep the legs to the left. So bend the right leg, bend the left leg, take the left ankle in the instep of the right foot. This pose is called the Bharadvajasana. Notice that this top leg, for me, it's the left leg. For you, it'll be the left leg too, because you're turning to the right. So the legs go to the left, we'll turn to the right. From the shin to the big toe, it's one line. So don't let the foot wing out this way. Keep those toes straight back. Okay, and then take a moment and balance yourself right to left. And notice if there's a bulging or a sinking on one side of the waist. So I'll show from the front here. So you can see I'm tilted, right? And this has to do with a little bit of a stiffness in the hips. I'm not really sitting evenly. And so as a result, I'm getting a little bit of a bulge or an overstretch in this side of the waist, and then this side is sinking in. So, if it's very slight, you can just work with that and sit on the floor. It's not a big deal. You can work with that to draw those ribs in, to sit that. This is the Virasana leg, the Virasana buttock down. But the other thing we can do, of course, to help bring about symmetry is take a blanket or a block and put that underneath the right buttock. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then there we go. Now I can get better verticality, better height in the two sides of the waist. And, take a moment and feel the difference now. When you take that height, do you notice how the spine lifts better? The chest lifts better. There's more of a lightness and a buoyancy that comes into the pose. And then lift the chest, lift that armpit chest, and go ahead and turn to the right. So you can take your right hand and hold your left heel. You can put your hand on the blanket. If you happen to be near a wall, you can creep that hand out along the wall and then turn. And again, I'm going to show from the side here so you can have a better visual of what I'm doing. Fingertips on the floor works as well. You can also put your hand on a block if you're sitting on a lot of height. Don't have the fingertips floating in the air. So you want to be able to use your hands to leverage yourself. And right shoulder back. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Turn left to right. Keep that left buttock, left root of the thigh down. All right, exhale, come on out. Slightly lean to the right. Straighten out your legs. Take a moment, get those legs nice and straight. Dandasana, staff pose. And then I know we have a second side for Bharadvajasana, but first, let's hold behind the right knee, bend up that right knee. Bring yourself forward. Take the right arm up, and then open twist, turn to the left. Left shoulder back and turn. Now you can stay upright here, or you can reach forward towards your foot. If you're not able to hold your foot, this is where belts are, or straps are useful. You can take a belt there, and then from there you turn. Left shoulder back. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. All right, now keep your legs as they are. Take your left arm up, and then inhale, exhale, turn to the right. Of course, for any of this, if you need to stay sitting up on a height so that you're not collapsed, so that your spine can lift, so you can breathe easily, then take height to sit on. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Turn the abdomen left to right. Turn those left side ribs around to the right. Right shoulder back. Okay, and then release. Straighten out both legs, and then we'll take the other side. Bharadvajasana. Lean to the left. Take the legs to the right. The right ankle will rest on the instep of the left foot. Take a moment and feel where you are without the support. So how much can you do without the support? Can you work to get the two sides of the waist even? so you don't have one side that's collapsing or sinking. So those left side ribs, bring them in away from the skin into your body. And then adjust, take the height as needed. So the height will go under just the left buttock, not the left thigh, just the left buttock. And then see what that support does. Already I can feel more of an easefulness in the pose now from sitting on just that little bit of height. All right, and then inhale, exhale, turn to the left. Left shoulder back, left inner border of the shoulder blade onto the back. Open up that upper chest area on the left side. But also don't let the right armpit chest sink. Back body to front body. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn. All right, and then release. Take your legs forward. Get the legs straight. Hold behind your left knee. Now I'm doing this in this way very intentionally, and this is not to stress the knee. So I'm holding behind the left knee, and then rather than cranking the shin in, which is not so good for the knee, I bring my body to that heel. So I keep the inner groin, the root of the thigh soft, and then I'm not cranking that knee joint or the shin around. Left arm up, inhale, exhale, turn to the right. So you can stay more upright here, or again, if it's appropriate for you to reach for that foot. You can even take a belt. Go ahead and do this. Inhale, lift, exhale, turn, right shoulder back. And then release. Keep the legs as they are. Take the right arm up. Inhale, sharp exhale, turn to the left. Now, if you're not able, this is a fairly compact twist here. Again, this is definitely contraindicated for pregnancy, for menstruation. In that case, you want to stick to the open twist, like Bharadvajasana, Parshva Upavishta Konasana, some of those twists we did earlier. You can take the open Marichiasana, but up on a lot of height to keep the abdominal area open. But the other thing I'm going to say is that if you're working on this pose, but you're just kind of stiffer in the ribs and the shoulders, you can always just hold like this as well and work this way. Okay, and then release, heels down, slide the buttocks back to straighten the legs, Dandasana, staff pose. Press the backs of the legs down, make the heels tight, make the kneecaps tight, heels heavy. Okay, let's do a couple of standing poses. First, let's take a downward dog to get some extension. So if your heels do not touch the floor in downward dog, you can take something like this. I'm taking a slant plank. You can roll up a sticky mat, roll up a firm blanket, or take your heels to the wall. And why do we want to have our heels on something? It's because then we can be more firmly supported by our legs. When the heels float, then also the backs of the legs can't really ever release down, and then it's harder to really be in our legs. So downward dog, straight arms, straight legs, press evenly through the circumference of both palms, and then exhale, draw those hips back. Take the shoulder blades onto the back. Keep your head and abdomen soft here. All four corners of the kneecaps tight. Then walk your hands to your feet for Uttanasana. You can widen your feet if you need, as much as you need. Straight legs, release your head and torso down. And straight legs to come on up. Okay. We're going to do just a couple of lateral standing poses to prepare for some standing twists. So before we twist, it's good to get openness, space, expansion. So you want to get space before you create compactness. So first, let's be in Tadasana, even standing, arms straight, legs straight, outer hips in. So it's like a pincher action with the hips. You want to feel that those outer hips are coming into the body. And then jump or step your legs wide, triangle pose to the right. I'm not going to give tons of instruction for these poses. I've instructed more in other sessions and other classes. So if you have any questions about anything, always feel free to chat, to write to me, leave a chat, send me a message. You're coming into triangle pose. Arms straight, legs straight, expand from the center chest to the thumb mounds. And then exhale, inhale, press into your left leg, that left heel, left foot bone to come up and change sides. Turn the left leg out from the root of the thigh. Take plenty of distance between your legs. So you want to aim to get the ankles approximately underneath the wrists. I know with hip restrictions that can be challenging to take that wide of a distance, but go as wide as you can because you'll actually get more length for your spine that way. And then come down. So arms straight, legs straight. Expand from the center chest to the thumb mound. Don't force your head to look up, but you may find that once you get that maximum length through the arms, through the legs, tailbone to crown of the head, then you turn that bottom side waist toward the ceiling. That top hip opens, and then the head may naturally just turn up to the ceiling. And exhale, inhale, press into the back foot. That back leg to come up, turn the feet forward, step or jump, Tadasana. Reach the arms down. Inhale, exhale, be in Tadasana. Side angle pose, Utthita Parshvakonasana. Spread the legs wide, step or jump. Turn the right thigh out, back leg straight. Bend that right leg, don't lean. So keep your torso upright, let that inner groin, that leg open on the right, and then extend to the right, left arm up and over. You can put your hand on a block or on the floor. Back leg is straight, front leg you're aiming for a 90-degree right angle there. Spin the thighs inside out, and then turn that right side waist forward. Exhale, inhale, press into the back leg to come up, and then change sides. Turn the left leg out from the root of the thigh. Deep breath. Inhale, exhale. As you bend the left leg, keep that left inner knee back. Extend from the inner groin to inner knee. Outer knee to outer hip, back leg straight. Right arm up and over. Spin the thighs inside out. So the thighs spin this way, inside out. Feel what that does to your outer hip. And then bring that underside waist forward. Exhale, inhale, press in the back leg to come up. Now, don't step to Tadasana. Keep your legs wide. You can take your hands on your hips for a moment if you need. Lift up the side walls of the chest. Now we're taking revolved triangle pose. So turn your right leg out. You can slightly angle the left toes in and then lift up here. Don't let yourself sink. So lift up, face out over that right leg, torso upright, lower abdomen, hip bones lifted. And then take your left arm up, both legs straight, and then inhale, exhale, turn to the right. Now, you can take your hand on a high block on the inside of the leg, okay? You can take a hand on a high block on the outside of the leg. You can put your hand on your shin, or you can put your hand on the floor on the outside of your leg, or on a low block on the outside of your leg. So many options. Those are just a few. That's not the exhaustive list, but figure out what your body needs. If you're fairly supple, experienced, you can go in a little deeper, then do it by all means. But if you need to back off, keep the hand higher, stay on the inside of the leg, totally fine as well. Press into the back leg, come up, change sides. revolved triangle to the left. So your left arm extends up to the ceiling. The right shoulder blade releases to the floor. Legs are straight. Use the exhale to turn. Anchor through the back leg. And then come up. Tadasana. Mountain pose, even standing. Now, because we are keeping this a more compact practice, we're just doing once or twice with these poses. But of course, on your own, you can always press pause on the recording or keep working through my instructions and repeat these poses many times. Oftentimes, twists, they really benefit. Your pose really benefits from repeating many times. So I'll just put that out there. If you have time, repeat. Parivrtta Parshvakonasana, revolved side angle pose. Turn the right leg out. Turn the back foot in, bend that right leg. Inhale, exhale, cross the left arm over the right leg. So notice I'm taking my hand to my thigh, and then I'm using that to leverage myself around. And then inhale, exhale, turn to the right. We're just going to touch and go the first time around with this pose. This is a deep twist. So again, contraindicated for menstruation, for pregnancy, for acute abdominal issues. In that case, you would stick to the open Parshvakonasana. And then back heel down, turn to the left. Now you can repeat that variation as many times as you need. If you're ready for a little bit more, then we can work to get the hand down. I'm going to turn my back to you so that way when I turn to the right, I'm facing you. So legs wide. Turn the right leg out. Don't be in a rush to get to the end. Watch your process. Bend the right leg. Left arm up. Inhale, exhale, turn. Right here is good work. Nothing wrong with just staying here. As you're able, as the movement in the spine and the ribs comes, then you can work that arm down and then take the other arm up and over. Back heel is down. Reach that back inner heel down. And exhale to turn. See if you can stay with it for a few breaths. Keep that right buttock bone into the body. So I'm watching my tendency to let this wing out. Keep that in. This is hip health. And then come up, change the sides. So watch as you come into the pose. Watch that revolved quality, that revolution of the ribs. Back heel down. Left buttock into the body. Exhale to turn. You can also work with the top hand on the hip. And then press into the back heel. Come on up, come on out. Be in Tadasana. Reach the arms down. Lift up through the chest. Just note, how does that Tadasana feel? How have the twists affected this symmetrical standing pose? Okay, our last twisting pose, we're going to work on Parivrtta Upavishta Konasana, so it's kind of a revolved twist. I'm going to have a bolster for this. So sit in Upavishta Konasana, legs wide, sit upright. Just have your bolster handy. And then first, sit upright, turn to the right. Right shoulder back. Now walk yourself out over that right leg any amount. Exhale, turn the abdomen. Turn the left ribs to the right. So the left ribs go to the front body. Change sides. Inhale, exhale, turn to the left. Walk yourself out over that left leg any amount. The abdomen turns right to left. These right side ribs turn to the front body. And then come up. Take your bolster, put it angled on the inside of your right leg. So the bolster's just on the inside of that right leg. It's a slightly up angle. And then turn to your left, turn away from the bolster. Now sweep that right arm forward in front of you, and then sweep it forward. Place your arm, you can bend your elbow, place that arm on the front end of the bolster. See if you can get more of your right side waist to contact that bolster, and then take the left arm up and over, lengthen out from the left hip to the fingertips, and then exhale, turn yourself up to the ceiling any amount. And come on out, change sides. So again, this step could be repeated several times. You know, I think you'll find that more suppleness comes in with the twist, more freedom comes in with repetition. And turn to the right. I just caught myself tensing my toes. So keep your toes relaxed, right shoulder back, and then sweep that left arm forward. Hook yourself so your side waist is touching the bolster, and then right arm up and over. Stay with it for a few breaths. Don't hold your breath. Can you rest the side waist here on the bolster? And then these ribs here on the up side of the body, on your right side of the body, take the ribs into the body, away from the skin, away from the surface. All right, and then come on out. Now, you can repeat that step as many times as you need, or if you feel that you're ready for the next stage, we're going to work on holding the foot now. So turn to your left, sweep that right arm forward. Now the turn of the arm here, it goes from inside out like this. So it's this way. And when you hold the foot, it's the thumb down, thumb on the same side of the hand. So you're holding like so. And then work to get the right side waist as close as possible to that right leg, and left arm up and over. Now you can work just on this much, creating length, or if you can hold your foot, you hold your foot, and then left inner elbow up to the ceiling. So again, you're working to put more, I can kind of cheat a little bit with my billowy shirt here, but really there's no cheating at the end of the day, because it's, the experience is what it is, right? So work to get more of that side waist on the leg, and then these ribs come down. And there's no cheating because there's no judging, right? So what's the final authority? It's just your experience. Okay, and then turn to the right, right shoulder back. Take that left arm forward. Sweep it on the inside of the leg. So the arm, it's this turn, and then right arm up and over. And take your time with this. These are deep poses, and they're poses that, you know, many of us don't touch on all that often. You can also take that bottom arm and reach it forward to bring that underside waist through. All right. So again, repetition, I can't say enough, I can't repeat enough, is of benefit here. But just in interest of time, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So let's end with a nice elevated Supta Baddha Konasana. So we did do a little bit of groin opening today. So let's just do something to let these legs relax. So you can take a bolster. This will also let your abdomen relax. So if you find that if you're not used to doing a lot of twists, it can kind of cause your abdominals to grip up a little bit. You might feel a little wrung out. So let's do a pose to create some spaciousness and softness through the abdominal area. So feet together, feet and ankles up on the bolster. Feet together, soles of the feet together, knees apart. So it's Baddha Konasana. And then I took just a thin head support. So just to show, it's this position with the legs. And then have the neck and head supported, arms down and at your sides, palms up. And be far enough from the bolster that you can really get a sense of releasing through the abdomen, releasing through the roots of the thighs. This shouldn't feel like a big stress at this point. We're really using this as a recovery pose, as a relaxation pose. You can close your eyes, let your upper eyelid rest on the lower eyelid. Relax your abdomen, relax your jaw. Even relax your breath. And then once you've relaxed those external elements, can you let yourself just sink in and be here, exist here for just a couple minutes? If you can stay longer, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, go ahead. If the inner groins start to kind of grab and tire, you can release the legs out and simply take a Shavasana with the backs of the knees supported by the bolster. This will tend to give a soothing quality, especially for the low back. Stay as long as you need, as long as your day allows. And then when you're ready, you're going to take a slightly deeper inhale, a natural exhale, and then you'll softly open your eyes, bend your elbows, and bend your legs, or release your legs from the supports. Roll to one side, pause there for a moment, let yourself rest on one side, see what that feels like, and then you'll push with your hand to sit up. And then we will conclude here today with this practice. Namaste.